I call to order the meeting of the Mayor and Council, Borough of River Edge, August 9, 2021, regular meeting, 6:30 p.m. I ask everyone to stand for a moment of silent reflection and prayer for all those who are suffering or are in any way indisposed or have passed on. And then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, here we go. Statement of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on January 8th of this location, date and time to the Ridgewood News and the Record, and by posting of the same on the municipal bulletin board and the borough website, and filing notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilwoman Steve is going to be late. Councilman Kanigo?
Here.
Councilman Gaudier?
Here.
Councilwoman Kaufman?
Here.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Here.
Councilwoman Cohen?
Here.
Okay, we're going to move to item number 5, which is approval of minutes of the Mayor and Council regular meeting, July 12th, 2021. Could I have Council President Kanigo move and Councilman Gaudier second?
So moved.
Second.
It is not debatable. Roll call.
Councilman Kanigo?
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen?
Yes. Just so you know, I was able to log in. I've joined the meeting.
All right, let the record show that Councilwoman Bastide is present and just a few minutes late, which is it's perfectly normal. We're now up to proclamations and awards, certificate of recognition for our wonderful Riverdale Black Hawk flight teams. And I know we're going to have Councilwoman Kaufman, I believe, is going to be calling the names. And are you doing the blurb, Michelle?
Yes.
Good. And this was requested by, I believe, Councilman Gaudier. Councilman Gaudier, do you want to say a few words before we hand it over to Councilwoman Kaufman?
Thank you, Mayor. These teams and these players and coaches have put a tremendous amount of work in throughout the season to be this successful. Hours and hours of practices and, obviously equated to them being successful in the games and thus winning their flight. So congratulations.
Excellent, excellent. So all of you, Councilwoman Kaufman is going to be reading off names because I'm really bad with, and she's been so gracious to take this on. And when we, and Councilwoman Kaufman, when we get to the end, what we'll do is we'll pause before we go to the next group and we'll give the head coach a chance to say a few words if she or he or she wishes to.
Sure. Okay, so I do apologize
All right.
if I do mispronounce anyone's name. The boys U10 CB flight team led by Coach Morrow. They went undefeated this season, and this is the third flight they have won in a row after promotion each time. They scored 46 goals while giving up 11 this season and are earning yet another promotion to B flight this season. So Team Morrow, boys 10 and under, is Andrew Carboleta, Lucas Cho, Derek Danby, Brendan Gullo, Ben Miller, Dow Millett, Matthew Morrow, Nolan Mauser, James Pinto Shaw, Stephen Ree, Dylan Strasser, Cairo Tapias Katkas, and the head coach is Christopher Morrow, coach Jana Danby, and athletic trainer Joseph Ayan Deji.
Okay, everybody. So we have your certificates, which I will be signing over the next day or so. And then they will be mailed out to you via our borough clerk and deputy clerk. And so we're very, very proud of you. Coach Morrow, would you like to say a few words about your winning team?
Sure. First of all, thanks very much for the recognitions. It's really nice that you guys do this. And it's the team's a really great bunch of boys. They work really hard. They work together, and they're continuing to learn and grow each season, and really step up to the new challenges that come their way when we move up. So I couldn't ask for a better group of kids to be leading, and I'm really proud of all of them and all their accomplishments. And thank you very much.
You're welcome. We're very proud of them too. Boys, you did a great job. Congratulations.
And the
We'll
next,
move on to the next group.
yes, the next group is the boys U9 EB flight team led by Coach Stein. This is the second flight in a row this team has won, and they were undefeated across 2 seasons while being promoted twice. They scored 58 goals while only giving up 6. This season, they moved up to CB flight. And Team Stein, boys 9 and under, is Dante Badone, Cole Bospali, Peter Doritzes, Anthony Esteves, Joe Koyama, Lucas Lemma, Sam Macri, Colin McGrory, Marcus Musharow, Mason Ratner, Benjamin Rizkala, Elliot Samala, Dante Stramiello, with head coach Ted Stein, assistant coach Isaac Stein, coach Frank Stramiello, and coach Joshua Ratner.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Coach Stein, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we want very well.
Okay, great. I'm not sure why I'm showing up as Diane, but I guess I'll be Diane for the meantime. First of all, Mayor, to you and the council, again, thank you for doing this. This means a lot to the kids. So thank you. Secondly, I do, as always, want to thank the parents for their continued involvement, just a positive attitude, just a buy-in to what we're trying to do with the kids, and just making sure that we're having fun. And thirdly, and most importantly, is really just a huge thank you to the kids. They work so hard. They've worked hard all season. We've moved up now 2 flights coming into the fall. They've come together as not only as a team, but friends. And as I mentioned a couple of times, really having a lot of fun out there, which is great to see, especially at such a young age. So really proud of what they have done already, and just looking forward to what they're going to do in the future.
It's wonderful. So guys, this is your certificate. The top one, of course, is Dante, but I will be signing them, as I said before, and they will be sent to your home. You've done a great job. You have a lot to be proud of. Your coaches do too. Thank you very much.
Next up is the girls U9 CW flight team led by Coach Windrum. This is the second flight in a row this team has won, and they've gone undefeated across 2 seasons while being promoted twice. They scored 53 goals while only giving up 9. This season, they will be one of our 2 highest ranked girls teams as they are promoted to the B flight. And Team Windrum girls 9 and under are Abigail Butler, Addison Heidelberg, Chloe Heinzinger, Sarah Mallon, Lila Marchetti, Casey McKinley, Alana Meyer, Bryn Nemec, Lucia Ruiz de Sommer Curcio, Jordan Sabella, Emma Schweiger, Shaylin Talty, Mary Tifo, Megan Windrum, with head coach Michael Windrum, assistant coach Craig Heinzinger, coach Kevin Sabella, and coach Michael Ruiz de Sommer Curcio.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. Coach Windrum, would you like to say a few words?
I sure would. Thank you very much to the mayor and the council for recognizing our girls. Our girls worked so hard this year. The outcomes were a result of their dedication at every practice. And they were just outstanding teammates to one another. And the town has every reason to be so proud of our young ladies. I look forward to everything they're able to accomplish in the future as well. And I just also want to thank all the families that put in all the miles and all of the dedication to get everybody where our girls needed to be successful. And we look forward to great successes in the future as well. So congratulations to all of our girls.
We are so proud of them. And girls, this is a copy of your certificate. Abigail's on the top, but you're all there. And I'll be signing them, as I said before, and we'll be getting them out to you. We're very, very proud of you. Thank you for all of your efforts. Great job. Girl power, go.
And last up is the boys U10 FB flight team led by Coach Sullivan. This is the first flight this team has won, and they are greatly improved over the fall due to the hard work and dedication of their players and coaches. They won the flight with a record of 7-1-1, scoring 34 goals and giving up 20. And Team Sullivan, boys 10 and under, are Alexander Acosta, Dylan Aller, Ryan Bovell, Peter Cannon, Jack Crawford, Christian Gutia, James Lempenow, Benjamin Matthew, Gabrielle Maya, Julian Nicola, Finn Sullivan, Henry Tinkellenberg, and the head coach is Christopher Sullivan, assistant coach Rosario Gutia, and coach Ashwin Augustus.
Coach Sullivan, would you like to say a few words? Is Coach Gutilia here or Coach Augustus? Well, they might be having some technical difficulty. I'm sure they would be very proud of you guys for being able to make such progress and doing so well. And we're very proud of you too. This is what your certificate's going to look like. Alexander is on the top, but all of you are there. And as I said before, we're going to be, I'll be signing these and they'll be mailed out to you very soon, and you should have them very soon. Let's have a round of applause for all of our athletes and their coaches. All right, unless we might have, unless Coach, sorry, let me double check that. Unless Coach Sullivan has been able to correct those technical difficulties, we'll move on. Coach Sullivan, are you able to speak? Not at this time. Okay. Well, everyone, we're so glad. We're so grateful for you coming. You may stay if you wish, or you may go. We're going to continue on with the business of the borough. So if you're interested in watching, that's a good idea, but it may not be all that interesting for especially young people. So if you wish to go, that would be okay. All right, everyone. Thank you. And thank you, Councilwoman Kaufman, for reading out those many, many names. I really appreciate it. And Councilman Gaudier for suggesting that we honor their achievements. We appreciate that too. Okay, so we have some presentations. This is item 7A. Aaron Hogstraight and Abby Bartoloni, presentation of their Silver Award project. So I call on Aaron and Abby to speak. Oh, before we do this, is there a scout leader who would like to introduce them at all?
So actually, there isn't, but
That's okay. You guys are
yeah.
good all by yourself. I
Okay.
didn't want to leave anybody out, okay?
Yeah, thank
So
you.
girls, go, and we're very happy you're here.
Oh, thank you for having us. Well, I am Abby Bartoloni, and
I'm Erin Hogstraight.
And so pretty much we were asking for permission to have signs along the Hackensack for our cause for our Silver Award.
So basically, the entire goal of our Silver Award project is to spread awareness about storm drains and how what goes into them has a direct impact on our environment. And so for this part of our project, we're looking to put QR codes with storm drain information and place them along a pathway near the Hackensack River that's at KBG. And we want to put them on corrugated plastic lawn signs that we repurpose. So basically what we're doing is like looking for permission to place those signs along the Hackensack River.
Yeah. And then we did reach out oh, sorry, to Miss Kaufman, and she will be helping us with the QR codes. And then we also reached out with Miss Bustede, who got like a way of the land, and we showed her where we would like to put them.
So Mayor, if I could just for the benefit of the
Yes,
mayor and
absolutely.
council, great. So the girls have been working really, really hard. This is one portion of a very much larger project that they've undertaken to help the borough raise awareness about what happens with our storm drains and the water and the refuse that goes into them. It includes, they're going to be including a notice in the third quarter tax bill that they've been working with the borough and DPW Superintendent Melito on. They've refreshed and reworked all of the materials that the Environmental Protection Commission uses during River Edge Day to inform the public. And this is also, I believe, a requirement through the Superintendent of Public Works that we need to fulfill every year. So they've done a great job of streamlining that message. And then the signs, they're going to repurpose lawn signs that have been used for graduations, the smaller ones. So they're going to be reusing things before they go into the landfills. So that's the size of the sign that they're looking to do along the pathway, as they mentioned, in KBG, behind kind of where the ball fields are. So I think it's a great project, and I would encourage the council to give the girls the opportunity to place the lawn signs where they wish.
All right, any member of council wish to offer a comment or ask a question?
Sounds
So
like a great
girls,
project. Thank you, girls.
When there's no questions or comments, that means everybody's for it. So don't get nervous.
Okay, thank you.
So Council President, yeah. So Council President, I agree with you. Does anybody wish to chime in or through silence offer consent?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Great
Thank
idea.
you.
Totally supported.
All right, then. Could I have a quick motion from Councilwoman Bastide and a second from any other member of council? You're muted, Ellen.
Oops, sorry. So move to allow Abby Bartoloni and Erin Hookstrait from Troop 5516 to place signs along the Hackensack River to promote awareness about our stormwater drains.
Second.
Could I have a second? We have a motion and a second. Council President is our second. All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, it is unanimous. Girls, congratulations. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you for this
Take care.
experience. Bye.
You're welcome. All right, we are moving right along. We are to adopt a senior presentation. Anushka Darawal. Is Anushka present?
Yeah, hello. Hello, thank you for letting me share my Adopt a Senior project today. My name is Anushka Dharawal, and I'm a rising senior at Riverdale High School right now. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we
Yes.
And as of last year, I did this initiative which helped local seniors with errands like groceries, raking, shoveling, and small tasks like that. I matched them with adult volunteers which were local and near them, which would help them with such tasks. And I have a branched project called 5 Minute Friday with this, which basically pairs student volunteers and senior citizens for someone to interact and share their day with each Friday. And this is part of my Gold Award project for Girl Scouts, which I'm currently pursuing.
Outstanding. Is there anyone from Scouting who would like to say a few words from your troop?
She couldn't come here today.
No problem. So what is it you're asking from us?
So I would like to propose that we, the biggest challenge for this project is actually finding the seniors, since many aren't available online or on like social media. And because of the pandemic, we can't really reach many of the seniors. So we were wondering if we could dedicate the months of September and October to this program to reach out to more seniors.
And would you want us to reach out by putting something on the website? Is that
Yeah.
what you're looking for us to do?
Yeah.
I think we could. Ms. Apertola, can you give us some guidance here? Ms. Apertola is our BA.
What
Is
I
that-
could, yes, what I can do is put some information on the website and reach out to our senior transportation coordinator so she could let the seniors on her roster know of this program.
Excellent. We also, through our OEM, I know that our deputy OEM is here, I think our, as well as our OEM, Stu Heisinger. They have lists of seniors. They are confidential lists, but they might be able to offer some assistance too. So Ms. Apertella, if you could just touch base with Stu and Neil, OEM, and see if their contacts might be willing to assist, or to or if Anushka could reach out to maybe to those groups.
Yes, and I'll also let our recreation director know, since she also has a senior list, as Recreation's been offering several programs for our seniors.
Yeah, so
Mayor,
yeah.
I can also reach out to the president of SCORE as well, if they're willing to do with the same, and I can coordinate with Ms. Apertella about this.
Good. I don't know if this requires a motion in a second, but let's just do it for Anuka. So could I have a motion to support Adopt a Senior presentation?
So moved.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Congratulations and good luck with the project. You'll have to come back and let us know how it went.
Thank you. I was also wondering if you could dedicate the month of October and September to this project so that it might be able to reach out to more people.
Are you asking for a proclamation? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Don't know. I don't know if that's, we reserve our proclamations for things that have been set aside nationally, like, different sort of awareness things. I don't know if this would be a proclamation. We'll look into it. We'll look into it and see if we can. And if it would be in keeping with what we've done. Because once we do it for one person, Anushka, then by common law, we have to do it for everyone. So the courts have decided that once we do something like this for at a single request, then no request can be turned down in the future. So I don't know if we can do that for that reason alone. I think it's a great idea, but proclamations we've pretty much limited to national proclamations or proclamations from national groups.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, thank you. So now we move on to Mr. Costa, our engineer, TAP grant presentation, Kinderkamack Road. Ms. Apertella, do you wish to do an introduction before Mr. Costa speaks?
No, I'll let Rob take over.
Excellent, great.
John, can you hear us, Mayor? Good evening, members of the
Yes.
council. Good evening, members of the public. Good evening. Tonight, very quickly, one of the requirements for the TAP grant through the DOT, which is monitored or rather administrated through the NJDOT.
Mr. Costa, can I stop you for a second?
Of course.
Mr. Costa, just for the public's benefit, would we not use acronyms? Or if we use acronyms, would you explain them, like what's TAP, what's
I will.
DOT? Just for the public's benefit.
No problem. Go ahead, TAP grant, talk.
All right, so
Introduce yourself first.
good evening, everyone. My name is Ronak. I'm an associate from Costa Engineering. I work for Robert Costa. And I will speak about a little bit about TAP grant. So TAP stands for Transportation Alternative Program, which is a federally grant from federal funded, and it's roughly around 800,000 that we received from federal government. And in this grant, the DOT, New Jersey Department of Transportation, is monitoring to the town and how the money is spending, and also how the project being involved on it. So the main focus is on the project is we are doing a revitalization program Basically, we're just making a streetscape and pavers and sidewalks around the Kinnickinnick Road, starting from Webb Avenue to.
Mayor, if I can interject, we can put the plans up. If we can share the screen, that might be easier for the public.
Okay,
If we could do that. And we'll try to go as quickly as possible, not to bore everybody.
so what do we need to put those plans up, Mr. Costa?
I think we're, are we doing it?
Yeah, we're gonna,
Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
We see your file screen.
Can you see the plans or no?
No.
No.
No. Okay.
Now we
About-
see them.
Okay. All right. So basically, the start of the project, if we go from the south on Kinnickinnick going north. So if we go on Webb Avenue, on the westerly side of Webb Avenue, you'll see that the proposal is ADA ramps, new curb along the county roadway, new sidewalks. And again, and this will stretch from Webb on the west side to the south side of Lincoln Avenue. Just go slow. Okay. If we, on the same sheet, if you cross the street and go on the east side of Lincoln, we're replacing the ADA ramps on the easterly side of Lincoln. So again, no improvements to the roadway itself, curbs, sidewalks, ramps. That's the project at this point. New driveways, there's going to be some regrading in some of the areas, but for the most part, nothing is being touched along this frontage to the neighbors. There might be some slight driveway restoration that's going to be required, again, just to pick up the grades with the new curb, because if you go out there now, some of the curb is there is even a curb face. After this is done, there's going to actually be a curb face, so it's going to be raised slightly. If we move north, now we jump over, because if members of the council may, if you remember, years ago, we started at Lincoln and there was a streetscape project, again, funded by the DOT. From that stretch, I believe from Lincoln to Christie Street, if I'm not mistaken. Can we go to the next slide?
this is sharing right here.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So this would be the next section as we go north. And again, just go slow if we can zoom in.
Zoom in to Christie?
Yeah. Please.
Zoom in to Christie.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay. So we jump over where it was already completed, and then we go to Christie Avenue. So from Christie, this will be on both sides of the street, the westerly and the easterly side of the street. And again, the improvements, curb, ADA ramps, brick pavers. There's going to be driveway restoration, so we're going to need temporary easements, some of the property owners. If they're on tonight, you're going to receive letters, and then we're going to sit down with each property owner individually, discuss it in person, with what's actually going to happen on their particular properties. As we move north, you're going to cross over Bloomfield. Again, same thing, restoration on Bloomfield at the ramps, continue northerly. If we stop there, this is the PNC Bank, all new curbs, all new frontage, their driveway cuts, all changed and fixed. So that's all of the proposed work up to Dunkin' Donuts. Can you keep going? And then Dunkin' Donuts will traverse around on Midlands, and there'll be some improvements going up Midland Avenue, westerly on Midland and Kinnickinnick. And again, similar on the easterly side of Kinnickinnick Road by Gates, and then by Gates, all new curb ramps, ADA compliant. Again, lights, no benches, no garbage at this point. That's going to be on this project because of the requirements of the NJDOT. We could not do that. New Jersey Department of Transportation. Sorry, Mayor. And that's it, right?
Yeah, and I would like to show photos that the past photo that how does it look like after the project is done. So basically, this project was completed many years ago. And again, some of the temporary easements, if there are members of the public that are going to be affected, the property lines extend past some of the building itself. So in order to get a sidewalk up to the front door of an existing building on Kinderkamak, we would need temporary construction easements in order to construct that piece. Otherwise, we'd have to leave the old concrete at those doorways or adjacent to the building, where obviously we want to replace all of it. But basically, what you see will be an extension of the project that was done many years ago. Trees, concrete sidewalks, brick pavers, new curb. Lighting, basically that's the entire project.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any
Is there more to your presentation?
And roughly, again, this is a federal grant that's administered by the New Jersey Department of Transportation. And then through their monitoring, there is a series of requirements that's required under the federal guidelines. And that's one of the reasons that we have to have public outreach in order to show the project. The project plans are available for the public to look at if they so desire. They can contact our office if they want to set up meetings and discuss it either further if they want to. And Mayor, as I said earlier, anybody in the project area that's going to be affected, we will sit down with those property owners on a one-to-one and describe it more thoroughly. Obviously, we're going to have to work around their business schedules and try to have the least amount of impact as possible to their businesses.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if there's, again,
right.
I don't know if there's any questions.
Any questions from members of the council?
Yes, Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Two questions. First off, is paving included?
Paving is not included. The county just paved it, Councilman, so the paving is not included in this.
Okay.
We have to restore, basically, you're gonna have to pull the curb backward, not to do too much damage to the roadway, but there's gonna be some restoration required in front of it. We're gonna saw cut in front of the existing curb, put the curb in, because it has to be a full depth curb, and then obviously pave that portion of the project back.
Okay. And weren't some of the requirements for the TAP grant prohibitive? Like there were a lot of hoops we had to jump through, and there were a lot of issues there.
We're still jumping through hoops. We probably have jumped through more hula hoops than you know what to do with. And with COVID, it hasn't been an easy process because it's right now, from what I'm told, this is the first week where some of the state employees are actually in, I believe, 2 days a week now. I'm not sure. I know that's with NJDEP, Department of Environmental Protection. I don't know for sure if Department of Transportation is back in their offices yet. So it's been a little challenging. Actually, Lisette and myself, we had a meeting months ago in person in front of Borough Hall with some of the representatives from Department of Transportation to get this project up and running and moving forward. But there's a lot of federal guidelines. There's a lot of bureaucracy involved with this. But they're also, at the end of the day, they're going to give you $800,000 to do the work. So it's definitely worth it to stay in the process. And we're almost at the finish line. We're getting very close to the finish line.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor, could I just ask Mr. Costa a question?
Absolutely.
Great, thanks. Thank you for making the presentation, Rob, and to your team. I'm assuming the answer is no, but you're not adding any additional impervious coverages. You're just replacing what's there.
Correct.
Okay, so the environmental impact is a wash then. We're not adding any additional impervious coverage.
Wash.
Okay, great. And I'm glad to see that Midland Avenue, that intersection will be included because, I think and some members of the Traffic and Safety Committee are here. We have had some concerns from residents with young school-age children needing to cross at that intersection. So I'm pleased to see that that'll be included. I'm sure that will be an improvement.
I think it's going to be a welcome addition because that area on the corner there it needs a little
needs a little TLC. I'll leave it at that.
Right,
I want to be
great.
politically correct.
Well, I just want to go on the record and say I'm pleased to see that that will be included. Thank
It will
you.
be. You're welcome.
Any
I do
other
have a
member?
que- I do have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Costa. Thanks for the presentation. On the documents that we received, I also saw, and I think you mentioned it, that there's tree planting being considered as part of these improvements. Is
Correct.
the $800,000 covering that cost?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
This is what I say to other towns that I represent. If you're going to get a grant from the federal government, try to get millions. Don't get hundreds. Get millions. Because the paperwork that's involved, and Lisette, I just saw her before, the amount of paperwork and that's involved in this is tremendous. So you need to get enough bang for your buck. And in this case, the 800,000 should go far enough. It's unfortunate that we didn't build this project a year ago, because obviously, if everybody's reading the newspapers and looking at the construction costs recently, a lot of the materials are up in cost. So let's see what happens. We just got the bid in for Continental. Continental came in great. Let's hope that this comes in accordingly, that we get a good number on this. And I do think we will, because I think everything's going to start slowing up slightly, and then there's going to be a big input of capital money again if everything goes through with the transportation bill. So I think we should fall in just prior to that, and if we get this on the street fast enough, we'll probably be just in front of that amount of money that's coming in for the other projects.
Okay, any other member of council? Okay, Business Administrator Apartella, I believe you have some discussion for the council in regards to this grant. Does that?
You might as well put her on mute, put us on mute so we don't hear background on. No, I believe that.
Miss Apartella, are you there? Michelle, Councilwoman Kaufman, is Miss Apartella present?
I'm not, I will ping her. Hold on a second.
She may have had to pop off for a moment. Mr. Costa, I believe that she had a medical issue with that she needed to address. So, Mr. Costa, I'd like for you to stay where you are, and
Okay.
I would like for the council to allow me to move to our two appointments. Does the council have any objection to moving to the two appointments?
Can you get me off mute for a second? Yeah, Mayor, can we just?
Yes.
Again, just one of the requirements is to get some public input, just if there is any public on. So I don't know if we can.
That would be good. So could I have a motion from the council to open to the public on the TAP grant?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
I'm not sure if I was called, but yes, if I was.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, we're open to the public. I'm going to surrender meeting to Councilwoman Kaufman, our moderator. And let's see if we have any questions or concerns from the public.
Yes, so if anyone would like to speak, just raise your hand and I will allow you to speak, and or you can type something in the chat box. Does not look like there are any questions.
Okay, so let's have a motion and second to close to the public.
Moved.
Second,
Been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Councilman Kamigo,
Yes.
Councilman
mute.
Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
yes.
Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Costa, I do know that we do need to have some comment from our BA in this regard. She's spoken to me about it, so I'm gonna have to ask you to hang tight for a minute. We'll move forward with a little bit of an agenda item. Without objection, we're going to, let's move first to public comments on any item on the agenda. Could I have a motion and second to open to public comments on any item on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Councilman Kamigo,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, Michelle, you have the comment.
Yes. So if anyone has a question or a comment on any item on the agenda, just raise your hand and I will allow you to speak, or you can type it in the chat box. Once again, it does not look like we have any.
All right, could I have a motion and second to close to the public on any item on the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Councilman Kamigo,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna jump to item number 10 now, appointments and personnel change. We're gonna move this as a block. So could I have a motion from Councilwoman Kinsella and a second from Councilwoman Monsanto Cohen after I finish reading A through D? Approve the appointment of Luis Lopez as alternate one to the Historic Commission for a one-year term from September 1st, 2021 to August 31st, 2022, effective September 1st, 2021. Approve the salary increase of Zachariam Ham, Patrol Officer, from an annual salary of $79,215 to Patrol Officer 14th grade, salary of $88,354, effective September 6, 2021. Approve the salary increase of Brian Estevez, Patrol Officer, from an annual salary of $79,215 to Patrol Officer 14 grade salary $88,354, effective September 6, 2021. And finally, approve the salary increase of Joseph Zemenies, a police officer, from an annual salary of $122,433 to $132,248 due to the performing the duties of a higher rank on a temporary basis, effective August 11th, 2021. Could I have a motion from the two people I asked for?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Councilman Kamigo,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna jump back now. Ms. Apertella, Mr. Costa presented the benefits and the scope of the project. It was also mentioned during that presentation, some of the limitations. In fact, Councilman Gaudier mentioned what the council as a whole knows, and for the public benefit, he mentioned it and asked Mr. Costa about some of the hoops that are, become problematic. I believe you want to speak to those issues?
The issues I need to address are of a closed session nature regarding this
Okay.
project.
All right, so then we would not be bringing that up at this time, and
Right.
we're going, and we can dismiss Mr. Costa, or would you would you want to ask him any questions or continue any sort of discussion?
I don't have anything further at this time from my
All
end.
Very, very good. All right, Mr. Costa, I appreciate you hanging around, and gentlemen, thank you also. And we will be getting back to you.
Am I I'm still on mute?
You are, we can hear you.
Can you, Mayor, just while I have you in the council and some of the public, Wednesday morning, we start Continental Avenue. So Continental will be closed. I see the chief sitting there. I mean, he's ready. He's ready to close the road.
Mr. Costa, could you do us a favor for the benefit of the public? Would you explain to them what we hope to achieve in this project?
This project, we are going to replace, connecting where the two parks almost meet in the middle of Continental. So in the middle, basically between Elm and Fifth Avenue, there's actually there was an old ditch that was there. There was probably a bridge that was built at one point. That's falling apart. That's going to get ripped out. RCP concrete pipes are going to be put back in its place. So we're going to replace the drainage at that location. And then we're going to obviously do curbs, sidewalks. We're going to pave the parking lot finally, finish paving the library parking lot under this project. And again, the majority of the work that's being done in this project is from a grant, local aid grant, or a transportation alternative grant, I think it was. No, local infrastructure, which was it's part of New Jersey Department of Transportation, but it's not the local aid, it's discretionary aid. So it's actually aid that the DOT gives you if they think the project is worthy. In this case, they said it was worthy. They gave us the money, and that's what the majority of this is being funded with. And
Excellent.
Tuesday morning, we will start aggravation in River Edge on Wednesday morning. So that stretch of roadway is going to be closed, but we'll go as quickly as we possibly can to get it back open.
Can you give us a ballpark? We won't hold you to it, but a ballpark, would it take days, weeks, months?
This will be weeks, but I would say 4 weeks, weather permitting.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
You will see, at least day one, you will see me out there screaming for at least 10 minutes. After that, I think, who's going to be on this job? Greg? Greg O'Donnell, who's actually a River Edge resident, a young engineer in my office. He will be in charge of the project on the day-to-day. And we will make sure whatever he needs from our office, we will prop him up. I will be out there screaming first thing on Wednesday morning. And I know Chief Walker will be there because this is going to impact him trying to get home at night. So I'm sure he'll be out there also making sure that it goes quickly. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Costa.
All right.
And it's-
Everybody have a great night and take care. Thanks for everything.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
All
Good night,
right.
everyone.
Thanks, Bob.
All right.
I just wanted to welcome Luis Lopez to the Historic Commission. Thank you, Luis. It's going to be great to have you aboard.
So that's actually the next thing we need to do. We need to swear him in because we've approved his appointment. And then we're going to go back to the table of organization. So Luis, is Luis a panelist at this point, or could you
Yes.
make him
I'm here.
So Luis, if you speak, the camera will automatically put you on the first page. So I'm going to be administering the oath, and I'll need for you to repeat after me, okay?
Okay.
Great. Borough of River Edge oath of office. Luis, would you please raise your right hand, and if you have a Bible or something like that, a Quran that you'd like to put your left hand on, that's fine. Okay. Repeat after me. I, Luis Lopez,
I, Luis Lopez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I
and that I
will bear true faith and allegiance
will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the government
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I, Luis Lopez,
I, Luis Lopez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
as a member of the Historic Commission
as a member of the Historic Commission
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
to help me God.
And I affix my signature to this oath, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, if the council will allow me, I would like to just move resolution 21-238, which is the appointment of a volunteer firefighter. Would the council allow that? Is there objection?
No.
Hearing none, we are going to move 21-238. Could I have a fire liaison? Is,
Yes, he's here.
yes,
Ron Silvestri.
great. So Michelle, as fire liaison, would you make the motion and someone else from the council make the second?
Okay, I would like to move to add Ron Silvestri to the fire department.
Okay, so would you say
Second.
you want to move resolution 21-238?
Sorry, with resolution 21-238.
And we already have a second, so we're doing good. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastu,
Yes.
Tebow,
Yes.
Cloutier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
All right, very good. Ron, are you there? Can we, or use your mic on?
Yep, I'm here.
Great. Ron, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. Are you good with that?
Sounds good.
Excellent. And you can place your hand on, you know, a Bible or Quran or whatever your faith book is, or not. You are free not to do that too. So Borough of River Edge oath of office. I, Ron Silvestri,
I, Ron Silvestri,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I
and that I
will bear true faith and allegiance
will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the government established
and to the government established
in the United States
in the United States
and in the state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I, say your name,
I, Ron Silvestri,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially, and justly
impartially, and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
as a member of the River Edge Volunteer Fire Department
as a member of the River Edge Volunteer Fire Department
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We are very, very grateful to Louis and for Ronald for stepping up and volunteering. River Edge has had a long and glorious history of volunteers doing wonderful, wonderful work. And our town would not be where it is today if it wasn't for our volunteers. So thank you, Louis. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron and Louis. Welcome.
Thank you.
You two will need to come in and sign your oaths. So come to the Borough Hall sometime during business hours. That would be 8 to 3, or Stephanie, is that right? 8 to 3.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right, we're gonna go back now for discussion. Item number 8. Chief, thank you for being patient with us. Police Department Table of Organization Ordinance. I believe that Ms. Apertala, that we asked for some information at the last meeting, and we did receive that information. I don't know if you would like to summarize that, or if the council even needs for you to summarize that. But we're looking at cost and if we went with this new table.
Correct. At the last meeting, Chief Walker presented his proposal for the table of organization. So 2 items were requested. One was a breakdown on the budgetary impact from the Chief Financial Officer, which had been provided. And also just to have for review, not for introduction, only for review at this time, what the ordinance would look like to amend the table of organization should the governing body wish to move forward with the police chief's recommendation.
Okay, why don't we open this to the council? Does the council have comments or questions, given the data that
Yes,
they've?
Mayor.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. I spoke extensively to our CFO, Chris Battaglia, and this reorganization will actually be a cost benefit to River Edge. So I am in favor of it.
Any other member of council wish to offer a comment or ask a question?
Mr. Mayor, just if we can have a little bit of the numbers, perhaps from our VA, that we will be saving, because that was the main concern that I believe the council had at the last meeting. We know that it looks like it's going to save us some money, but for the benefit of the public, if we could just have a little more information as to what that will do numbers wise. And I'm in favor of this as well.
Based on the adopted budget, the budgeted roster entailed 25 sworn officers, including the chief. And based on the recommendation, it would be reduced to 24 sworn officers. So as a result of this reduction, and we did have a recent retirement, the difference between the projected salary and the proposed salary as of today would be $233,100 with 21 cents. This figure is not inclusive of the cost savings associated with a reduction of benefits and overtime. So that is the potential for savings if the governing body chooses to move forward. And if there is consensus from the majority to move forward, then this ordinance would have to be introduced and adopted to codify this action.
And there's no formal objection of any sort from the PBA, is that correct?
Correct.
That is correct.
In fact, doesn't the PBA endorse this this action, Chief?
Yes.
Council President, anything else?
No, I think we've got all our questions answered. I think the chief gave us a very good presentation at the last meeting. I think it's his department, and if he feels that it is better run this way, then who am I to stand in their way? So I'm ready to move this if there's no other further discussion.
Any other member of council?
I agree.
Yeah. I also agree and support the plan. I just want to make sure for the public's information that this table of organization, as described by the Chief Walker, will assist in the accreditation process. And there's tremendous benefits to the borough and the department by moving forward with accreditation. So that's another reason why I would support this.
Thank you.
Any other member from council? All right.
Information as well.
Then
I agree.
Totally supported.
great. All right, so this also doesn't really require a vote, but I'd like for us to do that. Council President, would you please move this, and police liaison, please second.
Sure. I move to amend the police table of organization ordinance as it was spelled out to us by the chief with whatever caveats we made when we spoke last week.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Diego,
Yes.
Moyer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, now I know the chief wants to talk to us about promotions. Chief, do you want to address that now, or do you want to wait till the September meeting when we have the first reading of the ordinance? What would you like to do?
If I could just take a couple of minutes real quick just to discuss it, because I think it's important that we try to move along with it, because it is time consuming to do these promotions. So first of all, thank all of you again for supporting me with the move to change the table organization. Because of our various retirements and shifting of the department, we will need promotions to take place to include 2 lieutenants and 3 sergeants. That process, as per our ordinance, includes a written test and various different steps to get to the point where they're actually being presented to the council. It's at least 90 days worth of studying. So, we're looking at 3 months. Ideally, it's been a very busy year, leave it at that. We've had a lot of movement, a lot of things going on. I'd love to be able to get these promotions moving along as soon as we can. And if we could just step into next year with the full table of organization. And as you know, from when I presented in front of you, I do have a 5-year strategic plan that I'm just itching to jump and move along with. But it's difficult to do that if I don't have the staff in place. As much as we're taking care of business and the guys that are in the kind of acting positions are doing a great job, I don't think it would be fair to start certain big projects like the accreditation, things like that, and then all of a sudden a promotion occurs and that person's moved out. I don't think it's healthy for the morale, and I don't think it's healthy for the project itself, the 2 or 3 major projects that we're looking at.
So, Mr. Sarlo, my question to you is, we have not yet approved the table of organization by ordinance. That would happen in the first and second meeting of September. But do we have the flexibility to authorize the chief to list the promotions that would occur if the table of organization went into effect? One of the elements would be moving, I believe, a lieutenant position to a captain position, and that would open up 2 lieutenants. So could you please comment on that for us? Can we authorize that, or can we only authorize the sergeants, or do we have to wait until the ordinance is done?
No, Mayor, you can do both at the same time. You could start the process now. By the time the process is completed and you have a resolution with ranking the officers that are eligible for promotion, your table of organization will be, your revised table of organization will be in place. So no issue going simultaneously at this point.
Excellent. Now, Chief, there will be the position of captain, and you will, I know that you're working on that. And right now we don't have that in our promotion ordinance, but there is a unique way that you're thinking about resolving this. We don't want to offer that to the public right yet, but you'll be working on that also concurrently, correct?
Yes.
All right. So, so does the council, let's do this, is there objection? Is there objection, or let me rephrase this. Do we need a motion in a second, Mr. Sarlo, or can we do it by acclamation?
Let's do it by motion, Mayor.
Okay. Could I have a motion from Councilwoman Kinsella with a second from Council President Canigo to allow the chief to post for the positions that will be open as of the completion of the table of organization and any movement within that is concurrent with that table?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. This is debatable. Is there debate? Hearing none. Roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo,
Yes.
voting out,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
So Chief, barring any sort of unforeseen, we will have the first reading at the first meeting in September and the second reading at the second meeting in September.
Great.
All right, Chief.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks. Doing a great job. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank all of you.
Chief.
Night, Chief.
All right, we're moving on. Item number 11, monthly reports. For the public benefit, there are certain public monthly reports that are available from the clerk's office at upon demand. Building Department, June of 2021, Land Use Board, June 9th, 2021, Fire Prevention, April through June 2021. Emergency Management, July 2021, Environmental Protection, July of 2021, Fire Department, July of 2021, and Tax Collector 2021. We have no readings for first or no ordinance for first or second reading, so we go straight to resolutions. Could, is there?
Excuse me,
any-
Mayor, I have a question for Mr.
Sure.
Sarlo. Not with regard to the resolutions, but with the payment of the bills. Usually Councilwoman Kaufman, as the chair of the Finance Committee, makes the motion. There is a small reimbursement for her on the bill list. Does she need to, can she make the motion? Does she need to recuse from the vote?
All Councilwoman needs to do is just abstain from that one bill. There's no need for her to abstain for the entire bill list, just for that one bill that's reimbursing her.
Okay,
So we could parcel that one out.
Okay, so is there any member of council who would like more information about 21-217 through 21-237 and 21-239? Any questions about them before we move them as a block? Okay, if any member of council needs to abstain or wishes to vote no to any of the members of the block, please say that that they are for all, but they abstain from and name the ordinance, the resolution that they wish to abstain. Okay, so
Ma-
could I have?
Mayor,
Yes?
do you have to appoint our deputy OEM separately? That's on the resolution list. I just wonder.
No, I do need
Okay.
to do an oath of office for him. I don't have one in front of me, but
Okay.
we can do it and.
no, that was done at the last meeting. The resolution is just confirming
Oh,
the
okay.
appointment, but the oath of office was done back in July.
Okay,
That's right.
thank you.
That's right. All right. So could I have a motion from Councilwoman Bastide and a second from Councilwoman Montesanoco?
So moved?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide?
Yes.
Was I called? I couldn't hear.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Godier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman?
Yes,
Councilwoman
Wait.
Gonzalez?
Yes, but you're abstaining from
but abstaining from
the invoice
the invoice, which I
of
will-
reimbursement.
of reimbursement, yes.
Okay. Keep going.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, see, I messed that up. You knew what you were doing and I didn't, because that's really 21-240. And I may just say that for 21-217-239. So that was my mistake. You have to do it again for 21-240. I apologize. Would you please move 21-240?
Sure. So I am recusing myself regarding the payment of Bill 58-244, which is a reimbursement for a thumb drive I bought for River Edge TV for the town. Payment of bills at a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on August 9, 2021. Be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current account, $7,893,163.41. Capital account, $332,793.30. Grant account, $643.23. Animal control account, $2.40. trust other account, $8,609.54, payroll account, $25,439.32, developers escrow account, $1,195, recreation trust account, $5,895.72. So moved.
Second.
Okay. Good, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Dean,
Yes.
Councilman Kamigo,
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Woman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, very good, everyone. We moved. Oh, and congratulations, Mr. Carroll. We're glad that we could correct that mistake from a previous meeting. Okay, so now we're at new business items and request by the Cultural Affairs Committee to hang the Indian flag on August 15th for Indian Day. So who is going to be speaking to that? Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, Preeti,
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello. Okay, hi. Hello, Mayor and Council. Thank you so much for letting me be here. And thank you to Carolyn Baldanza and the Recreation Department for partnering with us. I represent the Asian Indian community in town. And thank you, Councilwoman Kinsella, for guiding us to present our thing at the council meeting. So we would like to celebrate India Day in town on August 15th, Sunday, and there's where we are requesting to raise the Indian flag. As the world is more connected digitally and physically, people are living closer together and interacting in ways they never have before. As a result, the process of building communities, coming together with people across cultures to share rules and ideas is more important than ever before. And when it's together to make our neighborhoods, our cities, and our world better, one of the most important things is to celebrate diversities. And we are all glad that River Edge is so diverse and celebrate a lot of communities here. So no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, but it can help us make connections we realized we could. So we would just like permission to celebrate and raise Indian flag for that day.
So, Mr. Orwella, I have a question. Is this a national holiday? In other words, there are a lot of federally acknowledged days. Is India Day a federally acknowledged day?
Yes, officially it is the Indian Independence Day.
I know that for India, but is it by the Congress of the United States of America? Is it a day recognized by the Congress?
I guess so. It is celebrated as an India Day in New York and in a lot of other states as well.
Mr. Sarlo, here is my concern. I think this is a great idea. I'd love to do it, but I'm concerned about requests to raise flags of nations. Normally what we do is we don't raise a flag without offering a proclamation. And we offer proclamations based on federally observed days, whatever that day may be. If we did this, would we be setting a precedent that would require us to raise the flag for any other group that would make such a request?
I believe so. I think if any other group wants to raise their flag, this sets a precedent, and that you're not bound by the precedent, but clearly, as I've always said, and this issue has come up in the past, not with this mayor and council, but with prior mayor and councils for the last 6 years. I have always said, if you do it for one, be prepared to do it for all. And just as you indicated, although there's no written policy in place for flag raising, mayor and council has always adhered to the unwritten flag policy that you've just cited. So yes, I've always said although it's a great and worthy cause, as others have been, that in the years I've been borough attorney, They've been great causes, but we've had to say no. For the simple fact is opening the door to other potentially groups that the mayor and council and or public may not want that flag to be raised.
Council President Kaniga.
I've been giving this a lot of thought since it came to our attention. I think we need to make a distinction between national flags and other flags to begin with. I do have a problem raising any other sovereign nation's flag here in the United States. However, there are other types of flags that we may want to raise. For example, the POW flags that you see. We have raised in town here in June, the LGBT flag. So there are certain circumstances where we have raised other flags, but they're not related to sovereign nations. And for me, there is a distinction that should be made there. So I'm not sure about a blanket prohibition on all flags, but I would not feel comfortable raising another foreign nation's flag on our land. And then there are flags that have different meanings. They're not about being a sovereign nation, and that has to have a different examination by the council, in my opinion.
Any other member of council have a comment or a question or concern?
I do. I also struggle with this, and I agree with Council President on making the distinction, and I especially if we're talking about a government building, hoisting another nation's. It's something that I think we need to make a distinction, and also consider the fact that the precedent will be set, even if it is unwritten, it is there. And it's something that we will need to live with as other requests come to us or other councils in the future.
Any other member from council would like to offer a comment?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Preeti, for your presentation and asking for the council's guidance on this. And when we spoke, I believed you wanted to celebrate India Day, which is a great idea because it's for the culture of the community. However, I was not aware that you wanted to raise the flag on the flagpole. I would have to concur with my fellow council members on raising another sovereign nation's flag on the flagpole at this moment in time. I don't think we've done it for any other country except our own.
Not to my knowledge. Councilman Bastide, do you ever remember us doing that? Because you and I are the longest on council.
I do not. And as much as I support the India Day celebration and the celebration of the diversity of our community, I would have to concur with the other council members that we should not be raising the flag of another sovereign nation on our land. I would certainly look to work with the organizers in the Cultural Affairs Committee to come up with another way to display the Indian heritage or the Indian culture, or some other way to display the pride in India Day, but not by raising the flag.
Agreed.
All right. It seems to be the consensus, Mr. Arwal, that that's not something we can do or would be good for the borough going forward. But we do, I think, very loudly and clearly support the idea of celebrating India's Independence Day. We're very happy for that, but raising the flag would not be a good precedent to set. So we won't, I think the consensus is quite clear.
Thank you.
Do you have any comments or thoughts, or do you wish to say anything?
I just had the thought that we are saying it India Day now, but actually we want to, I mean, this is my thought representing the Indian community. We want to do it an International Day. We have so many lovely communities, and our schools celebrate International Day. Then why can't we celebrate International Day in River Edge as a whole community? Why is it only celebrated in an elementary school, forgotten in middle and high school? Why can't it be part of the whole River Edge? So India, it could be India Day now, but it could also represent International Day. We are willing to join hands with the Korean community, with the Vietnamese community, with the Chinese, with any community in town, name it be. But the whole idea is to celebrate diversities, and even if it raises I know the motion is not in our favor to hoist the flag, but we respect we respect that we are part of United States first, but it's just honoring the community around.
So we do actually do that. We have we had the Japanese celebration in the library, I believe. We had a Korean celebration at the library. So we are very much open to that. And if you would like to reach out to Darrell O'Connor at the library, or Carolyn Baldanzik, who is our recreation director, and try to organize something with either of those individuals, we would be thrilled. And we have done that, and we will continue to do that. The only issue is we can't, sadly, we cannot allow the flag to be raised. But the celebration, we hope it does take place. We hope that you can coordinate with those people who would handle that for the borough.
Thank you, Mayor.
And if you need their numbers, you can contact Ms. Appertella tomorrow, and she will give you their contact numbers. But you can also just go down to the library and ask for Dara. He's a great guy, and come to Borough Hall, and Carolyn, or Carolyn can reach out to you maybe. So you can coordinate that through Ms. Appertella.
Carolyn already actually reached out, and we made a little flyer for India Day. And
Oh, good.
She in fact mentioned that Priti, if we could change it and write in partnership with the Department of Recreation and Cultural Affairs. So we included that.
I think we also did a Chinese day too. I think we've done several of our diverse communities within. So if we can add another one, I think that's wonderful.
Thank you. We respect that. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
great. You're welcome. You're welcome. I would like to, if the council will allow, I'd like to move to new business item 15B, and at the same time, old business item 16C. I'd like to start with old business item 16C. So we have our OEM coordinator and deputy with us, Stu Heisinger and Neil Carroll. But our business administrator, Ms. Appertella, and I had a conversation about, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago. And we were concerned about the CDC requirements. And notice that needs to be given through land use board, as well as publication of whether we're having a remote meeting or an in-person meeting. And we wanted to bring back to the council to make sure that we're still good with going to an in-person meetings in September, or is the council rethinking this? I know that towns across Bergen County are doing both. Some of them are already open and they're staying open. Some of them have not opened and will not open. We need to do what we're comfortable with. So we want to make sure that we do this so that there's no additional cost incurred upon those people who come before the land use board when it comes to notification, which would be very unjust. So I open to the council first. What are your thoughts? And if you want, the council can also ask our OEM coordinator and deputy to speak on what their thoughts are, because as OEM, so would the council like to speak about this first, or would the council like to hear OEM?
OEM.
All right.
Yeah.
Stu and Neil, discussion about the current COVID situation. So we're going to move you up.
You have the floor. Thank you for hearing us. We have done a number of things to research the situation. I spoke with Arlene Faustini, our town nurse, and Sam Yanovic. Their inputs to me, I will summarize. Our past week, we've had 30 positive results for testing for COVID. 5 of those people were vaccinated. 2 were in their 70s, and they were pretty sick, but they did not have to be hospitalized. There were 25 unvaccinated people, and as far as I know, none of those people went to the hospital. So I'm concerned, and the reason I spoke to the mayor about talking to you as the council is I think we need to look at it from a combined point of view. The US population rates are unfortunately very high. To that end, I'm concerned, and there are some suggestions that I would like to throw onto the table for us to think about. I believe that masks should be used, particularly for indoors and any large number of personnel. Whatever we can do to minimize exposure has to help. I don't know if this is enough. I think that it's a good idea that what we are seeing other organizations do, like our health organizations, they are requiring either testing weekly or wearing masks if you've not been vaccinated. Some are even going so far as to terminate those people who don't get vaccinated. So I think those are some things that we could do. Have our personnel tested on a weekly basis if they've not been vaccinated, in addition to wearing the masks. And I think maybe this is a little bit overly cautious, but I really don't want to go back to what we went through last year. One of the other things that came up as I spoke with Arlene, she mentioned that there is a group who will come to us and test large numbers of people. For example, all the DPW, all the fire department, all of the town borough employees, all the schools, and provide us a reading on whether they're positive or not. My feeling is that that would be a good idea in that it would find people who have the virus but are not showing symptoms and preclude these people from spreading that virus. It means a week or so of quarantine, but I think that's not a particular thing if it's going to help us get better. I think that's about it. I don't know, Neil, have you got any other inputs that you would like to bring forth?
Not at this time. I just got back from 3 weeks of vacation and I haven't worn a mask in 3 weeks. And if you have to wear a mask indoors and we put the council meetings on Zoom, we probably won't be able to understand each other because it will block your voice. So me personally, I have no comment on it right now.
So let me frame the question. The question is, does the council wish to amend its decision to return to public in-person meetings? And then the second thing is, do we wish to entertain any of the suggestions that OEM has just made? So why don't we deal with the first item, and I open this to debate or discussion.
I would just say, given that 5 people who were vaccinated in town got COVID recently, I think we should wait till next calendar year to come back. It just seems silly since we're being recommended to wear masks inside by the CDC at this point, to come into the council room with masks on. I think it would be easier to just keep everyone safe at home and leave it on Zoom until January.
I'm in agreement there, Mayor. I agree with you, Michelle.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree as well. We're seeing new variants come out. I heard about the Epsilon variant, the Delta Plus variant, the Delta variant. They're spreading easier. I read some information where vaccinated people may actually spread it more. Ultimately, I think though, if we come back to the council chambers and like Neil said, we're all wearing masks, there's going to be a whole lot of gobbledygook and what did you say? And I didn't understand. And Stephanie will want to kill me even more than she does right now, my mumbling. I think that prudence would dictate that we stay in Zoom. Honestly, we had, I think at one point tonight, 65 people appear for this Zoom conference that we're having here, this meeting. I doubt we would have gotten 65 people tonight in our council chambers, even with all the proclamations that we made. I doubt that many people would have shown up. So, it keeps showing itself to be successful. I miss seeing everybody in person and doing this in person. That's something that we're certainly losing, but we need to win this battle against COVID, and we have to do everything we need to do. So I would say, as far as the meetings are concerned, we continue this way and revisit it, as Councilwoman Kaufman said at the beginning of the year, once we know what's going on at that point.
Okay, I think this is, I definitely want to allow the rest of the council, but I think we may want to, instead of doing this December 31st, we may want to do this to January 31st, so that that would, of course, affect the reorganization, but it would give the council the ability to make a decision. I think for notification of land use board, for the council's publications, I don't know, Lizette, would December 31st or January 31st make more sense?
I would recommend to do it through December 31st and revisit the situation based on where we are with what variant is the prevalent variant, if children under 12 could have the vaccine also. There's so many moving parts, because once you have the reorg meeting, you are basically publishing for the year, not just your council meetings, but your land use board meetings. So we could just say through this calendar year, and we'll revisit it in December and look at what our circumstances are, because it was a different world in June when we thought we would come back at Labor Day.
So
Good-
would
good point,
December
Lisette.
meeting make sense, or the last meeting in November?
I would say the December meeting.
Okay,
Because
the first
this
meeting
is
in
changing.
December.
This is changing, week to week. So.
All right. Is there more comment from council?
Mayor, could I'm very disappointed that we are not going to be back in the chambers in September. I respect everybody's comments, and I will agree with the other comments to postpone coming back, but I would ask that we start thinking about what other mitigation we could put in place to allow us to return in January, whether that's plexiglass dividers between the council members that can be movable, or something else, so that we can have some type of a plan to return in the event that we're still seeing, to return safely in January. So I would hope that maybe our DPW superintendent or the OEM coordinators could come up with some ideas that we may be able to utilize to allow us to safely return in January, if we need to.
All right. Any other members of the council, comments or concerns?
I just want the public to know that, notwithstanding what Ellen just said, and I respect her opinion on this as well, the council business is being run and done this way. So we're not losing anything except for the live in person, which I understand perfectly, but I don't want anybody to think that the business of the borough is suffering as a result of the Zoom, because I don't believe it is.
Yeah, and that was not my intention to give that impression. I agree with
I
you.
didn't think it was. I just didn't want us to be misquoted down the line. So,
And I also would add that if there's a way that we can investigate whether or not, if we return to chambers and there continues to allow the public to participate via Zoom, I know some municipalities are doing kind of a hybrid that we should try to explore, so we're prepared.
I may be mistaken. I thought the governor's executive order and the thing that went through the assembly stated that you can only do one or the other. Mr. Sarlo, are we allowed to do in person and hybrid? Are we allowed to do a hybrid? Is that permissible under current law?
No, it's being frowned upon right now for, it really hasn't been accepted yet. So there's a bunch of issues that would, I would suggest at this point, no, things may change and we may get more clarity as the months go on. But, you know, we could revisit the hybrid, you know, when we discuss maybe in November, December, if you're discussing, are we continuing in Zoom or going in person in January? So I'd hold off on that discussion right now.
Any other member of council comment or concern? Okay, Ms. Apertella, we don't need a resolution for this. We just need a motion and a second, correct?
Correct, and then I'll notify Mr. Alter so he could let the land use board know as well.
So I'll need a motion and a second to remain in remote presentation for meetings of the council and the borough. That would also include committees and commissions and boards. Could I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so this would be to remain remote for commissions, boards, and council until December 31st of 2021. We have a motion, a second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Councilman Kamiga,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cowden.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Abertella, I see a ride-on mower. Do you know who will be speaking to that?
Yes, Mr. Sarlo will be speaking to that. There was a request. Regal purchased a mower, and our risk manager was talking about insurance coverage and the need for some type of agreement, but upon further discussion between Mr. Altamira and Mr. Sarlo, a formal agreement is not required. However, I'll let Mr. Sarlo expand on that.
The rec, Carolyn came to me and asked that if I could prepare an agreement that Regal purchased a ride-on lawnmower that's being stored right now in a residence storage shed because there was no storage on site. I wasn't certain as to what agreement she was looking for. I didn't know if they were going to build a shed and it was going to be like a use and occupancy type of thing. So I spoke to her and she indicated that it was Ezio that was looking for some type of agreement. We got Ezio on the phone. Yes, this was a half-hour discussion about a ride-on lawnmower that started with myself and then Carolyn and Lizette and then Ezio. It ended up that Regal just asked if the ride-on lawnmower can be part of the borough's insurance policy. And that all Ezio needed was either a resolution or a letter from the governing body agreeing that the ride-on mower can be put on the borough's policy. I told him I don't have that authority to do that. I certainly will be happy to write you a letter or email, but I don't have the authority. Hence, that's where we're coming to the mayor and council to get approval. So Regal can put their ride-on mower onto the borough policy. Just so you know, it's already on the borough policy according to SEO. So this is really more of a going back and saying, yes, SEO has the authority to put this ride-on mower on the borough policy.
Well, since it's already on the policy, I don't know if the council wishes to debate it or simply make a motion to approve what we're already doing.
It's a $3,500 mower, I believe, with like a $2,500 deductible. So who knows, or something like that. So,
does the council wish to debate or offer comment or ask questions? Hearing none, could I have a motion to approve placing acknowledging the placement on the insurance of the ride-on mower?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
This is debatable. Is there debate? Hearing none, roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Councilman Kenigo,
Yes.
Councilman Odierno,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Thank you.
All
I'll
right.
let this manager know.
Excellent, thank you. Tom, I guess that's something I would sign, or is that just something that would be issued
Just
from the
needs a
VA?
simple letter, email saying he has the authority to put it on. So it could come from me, Lizette. We don't need to spend more time on this than we have already.
All right, you and Lizette decide who's going to send
All
it.
right.
Might be great to me.
We're gonna co-sign it, so.
I think you need a 45-minute meeting on that one, but what do I know? Council President, I don't think there's anything from the Cannabis Committee unless you feel that there is an additional report to make at this time. It's under old business.
No, not at this time. I mean, we're a small town, so we're kind of holding back a little bit, seeing what other towns are doing, seeing how the regulations are going to be placed into effect. Since we voted that resolution in, there's really nothing that's, nipping at our buds. We can just wait and see and make our decisions a little later. So for right now, we're just in that wait and see.
And I think you make an excellent point about the regulations. The regulations still haven't come out. So I don't think, I think the public will be pleased that we're being cautious with something that has not even had codification of its regulations. We really need to see that before we consider if we might want to change it. Right now, it's prohibited for the public's benefit.
I just have a procedural question.
Sure.
Initially, we were advised to put it on for every meeting, but since the state is delayed in coming out with their regulations, should it just be placed only when we're told instead of just having it appear meeting after meeting?
So without objection, let us remove the Cannabis Committee from the old business until the regulations had been codified. Is there objection? Hearing none, so moved. Fire Department Alcohol Policy. Who's speaking to that?
Mayor, I had a new business item. Do you want me to hold it until we're done with old business, or?
No, we could jump to that. Go ahead.
It'll just be quick notification. I had corresponded with Lizette this afternoon. The Environmental Protection Commission has drafted a letter that they would like to be able to send to all borough businesses, just informing them about the state's plastic bag ban, which will go into effect, I believe it's in May of 2022, and to be a resource for those businesses on how they might comply, and give them some information that the state has put out. So I shared the draft with Lizette, and I asked if she would circulate it to our borough professionals who would need to review that to assist the Environmental Protection Commission with their effort. So Lizette recommended I bring it up under new business before she went ahead and did that.
Any member of council have a comment, question? Hearing none, it's so moved.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do we have someone to talk to us about the fire department alcohol policy, or is that just an old listing?
I'd like to talk about it. I'd like to untable it. I would like to make a motion to untable it and move it forward.
All right, so Michelle, Councilwoman Kaufman, for the benefit of the public, will you explain why we're untabling and what it would mean to move it forward?
So we had tabled it temporarily because the new policy was not listed properly on the website in a timely fashion, and we wanted to make sure everyone had a chance to see it before we moved it forward. And that has now occurred. Everyone's had a chance to see it. So I would like to move it forward now.
Is there objection to moving forward? So this would go as an ordinance, I believe, or is it a resolution?
It's a resolution.
So it'd be put on for the next meeting as a resolution. And of course, it's still open for debate and for voting.
Oh,
Is there objection?
I thought we were going to do it tonight. Is that not the case?
Can we do that? Lizette?
Yes, first one needs to be done since it was tabled. There has to be a motion, a second, and a vote to remove it off the table. Then it could be debated, and if the governing body, if the consensus of the majority so chooses to adopt it tonight, then it would just be a motion, a second, and a vote to adopt the resolution.
All right, before somebody makes that motion, is there any thoughts on this? Is everyone comfortable doing this now, or do they want it on for the next meeting? Either is possible. We certainly did make it clear that we were postponing to a future meeting. Is there any thought?
I always like to give everybody the absolute opportunity to speak. And if we're going to go forward with this, and I'm in support with what Councilwoman Kaufman is trying to do here, I think we want to put it on for September, give plenty of notice to everybody who may want to come and speak to it, and give an opportunity to everybody to be heard. That's just my thought.
Okay, so we have two basic plans on. One is to put it out tonight and to vote on it, take it off the table, and the other is to take it off, direct Ms. Apratella to put it on for the next meeting. What is the rest of the council's thoughts?
I mean,
All right,
I think
let me go-
I think everyone's had weeks to look at the new policy already, and they could have commented if they had wished to do so and been here.
Let me go through Councilman Bastide. Any preference or no preference?
I'm ready to vote on it tonight.
Okay. Councilwoman Kinsella,
I was going to say the same. I'm ready to vote on it tonight.
Councilman Gaudier,
I'm ready to vote on it tonight. I'd like to hear from Chief Sanders if he's here.
we'll come back to that first. Councilwoman Monsanto.
Yeah, I'm ready to vote for it tonight.
Is Chief Sanders present, Michelle?
I believe that they're in a meeting right now, but I'll try to get him here.
No, well, Joe, do we need the chief for you to decide? Because we seem to have a preponderance to move forward. Are you comfortable moving forward?
I'm fine with that, Mayor.
All right, then, so we need a motion and a second. And then I think to move it from the table, do we need a full majority or a simple majority?
A simple majority, but Councilwoman Kaufman already made the motion, so you just need the second.
Okay, I need
Remove
someone
from the table.
removed from the table.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I do not believe this is debatable. Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastide?
Yes.
Councilman Kendo?
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen?
Yes.
Okay, now we have it on the, removed it from the table, so it is before the council. It needs a number. Would it be 21-241?
Yes, and then the closed session resolution would be numbered to 21-242.
So, and then we change closed session to 21-242.
Correct.
Okay, so this is the, so what I'll need is a motion and second, and then I'll open it for debate to follow the rules correctly, Robert's rules correctly. So could I have a motion to move the, let me make sure I say it correctly, the fire department alcohol policy resolution, new resolution 21-242.
So I would like to make a motion to move forward the new River Edge Fire Department alcohol policy resolution 21-242.
That would be 241,
241,
closed session.
excuse me.
My bad, I said that maybe, so that's 241. Okay, so we need a second?
Second.
Okay, this is debatable. Is there debate?
Could I just make a comment or perhaps ask a question of clarification from Councilwoman Kaufman?
That is permissible, yeah.
Great. So from my reading and recollection, this ordinance or this resolution is supported by Chief Sanders and Assistant Deputy Chief Caridi?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any other debate or questions?
And Chief Sanders is here on the phone if someone,
At this point, we cannot actually, we have already moved and seconded. We are in the middle of debate, but I believe Robert's rules does not allow it. Mr. Sarlo, can I allow at this point Chief Sanders to speak?
Without any objection from the council, the answer is yes. As long as there's no objection to.
All right.
go
Does
outside.
so then I need to return to Councilman Gaudier. Councilman Gaudier, do you still wish to have the chief speak, or are you satisfied?
I'm satisfied, but if the chief would like to speak, of course, we'd like to hear from him.
At this point, it would only be if you wanted him to, because you had made the request. Do you want him to?
I'm fine either way.
All right, then that motion does not move forward. Okay, if there is no more debate or questions, we would move to the vote. Is there any more debate? Roll call.
Councilwoman Bastu,
Yes.
Councilman Kamigo,
Yes.
Councilman Gaudier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kopka,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, so that has passed unanimously. Mr. Heisinger, Mr. Carroll, I believed I broke your our discussion about COVID into two parts. You had made a recommendation for us to require vaccination of borough employees who are not, testing of borough employees that are not vaccinated. Mr. Sarlo, can you speak to or offer advice to the council on those suggestions?
There's much debate on this, and there have been private corporations and public entities such as the judiciary that just mandated all court personnel to be vaccinated, and if they're not vaccinated, they need to be subject to weekly testing. So there is precedent out there in case the borough wants to proceed with that at this point in time, either mandating vaccinations or allowing weekly testing. I probably would also want our labor council that has been providing opinions, not just for this town, but for the county, Matt, that he should also weigh in on that. If you guys are leaning towards mandating it, make it conditioned on Matt's stamp of approval, just because he's been more involved than I am, or I have been, with regard to the policies and procedures of municipalities regarding COVID protocols.
Okay, let me frame this for the council. I think we can go one of two ways. We could have a debate about it, and then if the debate, if the council was so inclined at the end of the debate, ask Matt to weigh in, or we could direct Ms. Apertella to reach out to Mr. Giacobi, our labor attorney, and give us an opinion, and then have a debate. So would the council like to do debate and then opinion, or ask for opinion and then debate?
Opinion.
Opinion.
If you're going to ask him for opinion, let him know what opinion or what you're asking him to opine on specifically.
Okay, would the council be in agreement that we are asking him to opine upon requiring all borough employees to present a vaccination card, and if they cannot do so, then require them to have weekly COVID tests? And we would also have to consider, would that be at the cost of the borough, which I assume it would? And if so, do we have budgetary amounts? Is the council in agreement with the way I have framed it?
Yes.
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 Yes, although I'm not sure why it would be at the cost of the borough, but I agree with everything you said.
Okay. Mr. Sarlo, does that suffice?
Yes.
Mr. Heisinger and Mr. Carroll, does that seem to honor your request?
I think that gives us our best reasonable approach to minimizing further spread of the virus. I think that's a great plan.
Okay. Ms. Apertella, do you have any questions about what we're asking you to do, or are you good with it, with your charge?
No, I'm good with it. I know Hoboken implemented this policy, but Matt provided a prior opinion earlier this year through the GIF statewide, so I'm sure this is on his radar.
All right, excellent, thank you. Is there any other new or old business? All right then. Can I have a motion to open to public comments, any public comment?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Councilman Kamigo,
Yes.
Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
All right, we are now open to the public. Councilman Kaufman.
So if anyone has a question or a comment, just raise your hand and I will allow you to speak. Does not look like there is anybody.
All right. Could I have a motion and a second to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
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 Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, does any member of council wish to make a comment about something or reflect on anything? Feel free to call out.
Just wanted to congratulate all the Blackhawks again. Congrats to all those boys and girls. It's fantastic.
Anyone else?
Yes, Mayor. Yes, Mayor. I would also like to congratulate all of the Black Hawk flight winners. And I would also like to thank Congressman Gottheimer for all of his work in trying to restore the SALT deduction. This would be we voted on a resolution to reinstate the SALT deduction, and this would be a tremendous help to our residents. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Excellent, excellent point, Councilman. Any other council member? Okay, then could I have a motion to Resolution 21-242, resolution to go into closed session, exclude the public, closed session docket 21-8/9-1, personnel responsible charge. Could I have a motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
All right, this is not debatable. Roll call.
Councilwoman Steve,
Yes.
Kamigo,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion and second to close the regular meeting so that we may go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Councilwoman Bastidt.
Yes.
Councilman Kamigo,
Yes.
Councilman Godier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kinsella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cohen.
Yes.
Excellent. So thank you to all who attended our meeting from the public and our panelists. And I will see the council in closed session in 5 minutes. Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Yes.
So say at 8.